Hello, everybody. Welcome to our next episode here. We are on Bridging Cultures, Building Businesses. We have an exciting one today. Today, we have our first small business, locally owned business, on here with us today. But first, let me turn this over to my co-host. Let him introduce himself again. Oh, sorry. I am Jesse Noriega, Greater Quad City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Executive Director. Now we'll pass it over here.
How you doing, everybody? Manuel Juarez, board member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, State Farm, and we have some exciting guests here with us today, and we're going to let them have a chance to introduce themselves. So here we go, guests. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah. You know first.
Thank you. My name is Marlon Ganaway, and I am a co-owner of G&M Properties, a local real estate investment company here in the Quad Cities.
My name is Alicio Noriega, also co-owner of G&M Properties here with Marlon. But yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'd like to thank you both for
Thank
coming.
you for having us.
Yeah. Thanks.
And really, this is an exciting one. I'll let everybody know. I'll be 100% transparent. Marlon and I go way back to junior high grade school days.
Yes, sir, we do.
So, making those connections at a young age actually pay off and are really important. And actually, also another thing in full transparency, his business partner happens to be my son. So kind of a unique situation there. But I guess even before we get into that, Marlon, if you want to tell everybody a little bit about your business and kind of how, even before your business, how you kind of got started to become, the person you are and where you're at right now.
Sure. My grandfather, Tim Golden, owned a great deal of property in Rock Island. So when I moved back here in the summer of 2018, my intentions were to take over my family's property. Things didn't really work out the way that I planned. But I had my sights set on real estate so hard that I said I was just going to try to find another avenue to make it happen for myself. So in meeting people and getting involved in the roofing and roofing business, I started to meet some more people that were involved in construction. So I was like, well, I might be able to make this happen if I just can figure out a way to get in the door. And I was doing some clean out work for a gentleman by the name of Chad Kelly. And Chad just happened to be selling 8 properties. So I stepped to Chad and I made a proposal to buy the properties, and everything was good. I was a few dollars short in making it happen. So then I bumped into my good friend Jesse Noriega and explained to him about the deal that I had. And at the time he was saying he wasn't really in a position to take advantage himself, but that his son would be interested. So I met Alicio. We talked on a Monday, and Alicio cut me a check for half of the business on a Friday.
Yep. It was just a couple days I knew him. That was it.
Yeah. So from there, we've built, and we actually had 10 properties now. And things are going pretty well for us.
Excellent. So how's the business partnership gone so far? I mean, obviously, you being closer to my age and him being my son, I mean, I'm sure a lot he can learn from you.
Sure enough. Alicio is one of the best people that you can have as a business partner, because he is the type that will do exactly what needs to be done from him. He's a great listener. Neither him or I have extensive knowledge in construction work ourselves. So what little bit of knowledge that I did have, whatever I shared with him, he was always a sponge, always has been a sponge, and has always been there for whatever that we needed in the process. So I couldn't have asked for a better partner than Alicio. He's definitely been 100% with my back since we started.
Yeah. I think the cool thing about us though is, like he was saying, you being closer to his age, me being in my 20s, just the age dynamic of the things you knew going into it, just being that you're older, had houses before in the past. I never even owned a house until we got the rental properties. So I didn't know anything about how to pay the gas bill. I didn't know how to pay the water bill. I didn't know what taxes were. Like, I didn't know any of that. So, but I think me coming in and knowing some of the stuff with social media and just like Google Docs, when we got all that together, I think just the combination of our ages works really well with what we got going on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I do know that Manny and I had some other discussions here with past members, and that's one of the things we were talking about, was the dynamic of the age different of us, older business owners and entrepreneurs and stuff, and then that younger, hungry generation that's coming in that, like he had said, is they're hungry, they're knowledgeable, and the way the world is changing so fast, they can fill in those gaps that we might not be so versed at, you know. And this is a perfect example of what you had mentioned prior. This is great. What kind of advice would you guys give any, you know, not just in property management, but, you know, any business wanting to come through, whether it's doing it themselves or like you, I mean, not reaching out and asking for help, you know, I mean, because really a lot of people, the deal probably just would have crashed if it wasn't for you, you know, saying, hey, you know what, I don't care about the pride thing. It isn't that I failed. It's just that I got to take another avenue. And too many people look at those things, adversities as failures. And it's not really failures. It's just, you got to take a different route. And as you see, and you probably know and ran into a lot of business owners, that they just stop right there and then they're done.
Sure.
You know, and I know you had mentioned to me there's been so many people in your past that were willing and wanting to get in these opportunities. And then when those opportunities came up, they just were like, no, I don't think I want to do that. And then, you know, you got lucky enough to get somebody. But, you know, speak to that a bit about how it's not, none of that, it's never failure. It's just different opportunities and different ways to go about it, if you could.
I agree 100%, Jesse. I would say in getting started, figure out who you are and your strengths and your weaknesses and find your complement. Like Alicio said, him being younger, him knowing a lot more about technology than me, running a social media web, marketing campaign. I mean, I'm learning now, but we're old school in that sense. We're pen and piece of paper, that type of deal. So Alicio was able to cover a lot of my bases that I didn't know as well. And because I had a more extensive network in construction, and I'm old school networking, where I was able to fill in his weaknesses. And at the same time, because of that, we're able to kind of symbiotically grow from each other. There's a lot that I look at wanting to teach him because, like you said, the age difference, I look at him like he's my nephew or my own son, so to speak. So I'm trying to groom him to become a business owner and a business leader as well. And at the same time, there's the things that I learned from him about being able to be flexible and take new approaches, new strategies in it. But that would be my first and most important thing. Find out your strengths and weaknesses and find your complement and learn how to be able to take advice, even if you believe that you have the most important or you have the most knowledge in the situation. It might be a time when Alicia were talking about a particular project that we're working on. And in my personal opinion, I probably have more experience than him, but being able to open yourself up to allow yourself to be coachable, even by people who may be younger or maybe less experienced, because you never know where wisdom is going to come from. So in that business sense, be flexible, be able to pivot and be able to use whatever advice is coming your way with an open mind.
I think too, with what you're saying about people trying to get started, and I think you just got to get over the hump of being scared of wanting to fail. But everybody's going to fail. Thomas Edison failed. The guy that made cars failed. Like, everybody fails. You're going to fail. But that's the only way to learn is to fail, learn, not fail when you do it the second time, and then just keep failing and keep learning. But there's a lot of people that go out, they'll study everything. They'll do everything they have to do to learn about their subject of whatever it is they want to get into, but they never get into it. I've had so many people tell me how much they research real estate and how much they're looking into it and the prices and the market and this, that. But they spend 4 or 5 years and they still haven't gotten their first real estate property yet. I was kind of the opposite, where, I know I wanted to do it, but I didn't have the most knowledge about it. But I jumped when I jumped, and then I had to learn about it. So you can do it either way, but you just gotta jump.
Success favors the bold. And if there's nothing else I can say about my partner, I am forever inspired by his absolute ability to just to take a step without, like you said, knowing a whole lot about it. He just jumped in it. And, being that happens, the courage that he has can translate into other things, because he said there's a lot of things that you may not know about, and that paralysis by analysis, by doing a lot of studying. But the fact of having that boldness, favor is always fortunate. It always favors those who take those bold steps.
Well, and in full transparency here, I think this is great because obviously you and your brothers have never had a problem with being like him and taking those leaps.
Oh, yeah. You gotta do it.
And doing many different things. And I will admittedly say that had been probably as what I figure, it's probably one of the biggest cardinal sins you can be is when you have all the knowledge and talent, but you have just as much fear, so you never move on it.
Sure.
And that had been my own personal weakness for years. I'm glad I didn't instill that in him, which is good. And it took me a lot of years to get out of that, to realize, hey, you know what? Now you got to just jump, because it's people like you guys that inspired me, and I was watching throughout all my years is, because I've always been in the corporate side of things, and it's like, those are safe. Not that they're not bad jobs, but they're safe. But you're not going to necessarily get to where you want to be being safe the whole time. And so it's the entrepreneurs and the people like you that I was finding like, you know what? I'm not, I got the knowledge. Why am I being safe? So it's great to see that. And I know he can learn so much from you as far as, you know, he's from that younger generation age where it's, let's just text everybody, let's just post, but there's no communication.
Sure.
And this communication, which no matter what generation you're from, nothing beats us sitting in front of each other, having a real conversation, and truly knowing who you're dealing with. And I say that because, so what it was Marlon had moved away and he'd been out of state for a long time. And I happened to run into him and his wife at Walmart, and I'm like, I said, Marlon, he looked at me like, he wasn't certain who I was. And then his wife, that's Jesse. He's like, oh, shoot, you know. But we were always good before, you know, but to have that relationship and it come about. And then when he asked about this thing, for me to tell my son, hey, he's a trustworthy guy, go to him. That's all from those relationships. You won't get that from texting somebody and just, I know this person and that person, but you really never met them, you know. And having these relationships and actually getting in front of people and knowing to get that handshake and actually conversing with them really helps build those relationships. And that's something that I know the younger generation struggles with, you know, and he can learn a lot of that from you, and because that takes you so far and has taken you so far. So, I mean, I know you've been part of a lot of other great programs and organizations throughout your time, whether it was in Atlanta or even here, some of the other things you're doing. I know he can learn a lot from you. I think that's great. But like I said, you and your brother are also inspirational in that sense, where you guys, you know, constantly jumping and not afraid to try new things.
Yeah. And I think we get that because we didn't know a whole lot of people when we first moved here. So we just, we had a couple mentors, and, you know, and we did what we had to do, and we kind of failed along the way and learned ways to not do things. And so now, you know, in a sense, we're trying to be the people that we wish we had when we were first starting out, you know, go to this person for guidance or for reference. And so I think, you know, with our networks growing and the influential people that we keep bringing on here, man, it's just, it's cool to be able to be that person, to be that guidance for all these people. And I'm sure, you know, that people trying to get into real estate, you know, we can send them to you guys, and you're going to tell them the honest truth, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between of what it takes to get into the business, get into the industry. And it's not easy, right? It's not easy, and it's not all butterflies and rainbows, what people make it think. And there's just, you know, you see it on social media, people flexing what they got, do this, do that. But, you know, what are some obstacles that you guys face day in and day out? You know, I'm sure there's great stuff, and I'm sure there's stuff that you guys daily, you know, that you guys are. So what are something that you guys face on a daily basis that we used to be like, hey, get ready for it, guys, because it's coming. You're going to see it. But like you said, it's not deterring you guys away from the business or the industry.
I think one of the biggest obstacles for me getting into it was timing and how to time your day, really. Because I was working at John Deere when we had first originally got these houses and everything. So I'd have 8 to 10 hours of my day consistently at John Deere, get off, and then have to figure out, okay, I still got to eat dinner. I still got to go to sleep. But I still got to get all this paperwork done for these houses. Well, this one's got a leaky sink, so I got to get there, or whatever it may be. But even since leaving Deere and just doing just the house stuff, it's almost gotten harder somehow. Having more time open up, it's almost harder to, what am I going to do today? Okay, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that. What 3 are the most important? Okay, I got to do this one first. Like, it's just timing what you want to do, when you want to do it, and getting yourself up out of bed to want to do it is, I think that's all probably the hardest parts.
For me, I look at it how are we going to pay payroll?
Yeah.
How are we going to make sure that we have the quality guys out here that are doing the work that needs to be done? We kissed a few frogs before we got to these princes. And while you're kissing the frogs, you have to pay for that kiss. So being able to keep ourselves above water.
Sure.
There is something I can tell you between me and Alicio. When we closed, we bought our first 8 properties on contract.
Okay.
So when we actually closed and paid off the seller, we had to pay like $12,000 in insurance, and it had to be paid up front. So this was something that neither him nor I knew going into closing. We were thinking we were just going into the bank and signing some paperwork, and we're out of here. And they were like, "Well, do you have the $12,000 check?" So yeah, well, we had to have a quick meeting and figure out how in the world we're going to pay. I mean, just so somebody, hopefully, brought it. We're in there counting our change, but being able to go from the excitement of it. It was so cool to be involved in real estate. He had the desire, and I did as well, to now being at the more mature, stable portion of it. How do we make sure that our taxes are being paid properly, like he said, and make sure that we have the quality guys that we can build with us and that can grow with us to help take our business to the next level.
That's great. So a lot of learning.
A lot of learning.
And continued learning.
100%.
And it hasn't stopped.
It has not stopped.
And what do you guys see the market going in the next couple years? Or what are your guys' goals in your guys' portfolio that you guys got for the next couple of years coming up? Do you guys want to get more properties and diversifying different classes of real estate? Or what's next for you guys?
I tell Alicio, when we first started, we had 2 choices. We can be a local mom and pop. At his age, the properties that he owns, he's pretty much set. He has his retirement almost set. So we can stop there. You can continue to work for Deere or have a job, or we can become some moguls. I personally want to become a mogul. So it's kind of that situation where I'm the gas, he's the brake.
Say, yeah, that's all. He's all gas. I'm all brake. I'm like, well, let's wait a minute. Let's check our numbers. Let's look at everything before we do it. And Marlon's like, let's buy it. Let's go. So it's a good dynamic to have, though, for sure.
Balance.
Definitely. So I look at it, we're in single family homes right now.
Okay.
I would like for us to get more involved in the multi-unit space and eventually something commercial as well.
Okay.
Just trying to push the issue as far as we possibly can.
Okay.
Like we're running a relay race. I'm the 3rd leg and he's finishing. So I'm gonna try to give him everything that I got so that, he can take our business to the next level.
Good.
Yeah, I definitely see us getting into some more houses, though, especially with what Rock Island's wanting to do downtown in that area. I think more houses in that area.
A lot of the cities are having their own programs and help from with funding and tax incentives. How is that? How hard is that for somebody that wanted to jump into it? Somebody that they've been seeing everything. Can anybody do it?
No. And I will be perfectly honest. Usually people say, yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. But no, I think you have to have a certain personality type to be involved in this, because it's going to push you beyond the normal high school education, college education type of mindset. You have to become extremely creative at the same time, have a level of sacrifice that's extraordinary. And I believe that's one of the reasons why me and him get along so well, because Alicio is able to sacrifice. We bread, bologna sandwiches, so until we make it. And most people just don't have that. And I'll be honest with the person. The first question I would ask is, being a real estate investor is like becoming a boxer. Now, anybody could probably throw some punches, but are you able to take a punch?
Back up.
And get back up. Are you going to be able to get hit square in the mouth and still want to go? And most people don't have that. So I say it's not for everybody, but it is for a select few.
That's great. And that's good to know. And that is good to know for those people out there that are, they see it on social media, how easy it is.
Check your chin first.
Yeah. Take a chin and make sure you can take a couple, let good blows of the face and keep going. And you're waking up every day with the same excitement, the same tenacity to just keep going and keep growing that portfolio.
Sure.
So congratulations on you guys, and
Thank you very much.
we wish you much success, and to keep that going and keep that drive. Because like they say, it's not easy for those that want to see it. Can people reach out to you with questions? If people are just kind of getting in there, maybe they're looking for their first property to land. Could people reach out to you guys and ask questions to you?
Yeah, definitely. We got our Facebook page, and then he has his own personal. I have my own personal.
Okay.
As well, and yeah, feel free.
100%.
Go do it.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I know. Like you said, a lot of the cities got a lot of, like you said, Rock Island has a lot going on. Moline down here by the Spiegel building, and there's a lot of houses in that in Moline that need some love, and of course East Moline here too with this whole Bend area and all the way down through downtown. There's houses all in those areas around there that it's a perfect opportunity to give those all these houses in these areas some love.
Sure.
Because once those places get finished, that's going to be prime real estate, and it's not prime right now. So if anyone does have that motivation or the ability to, it's a great time to get in, because the cities are really about improving. And I've said this before, it's kind of crazy, but this is probably one of the first times that all of the cities have a big project that they've been funded for, that they're all working on simultaneously.
Exactly.
Usually it's like Rock Island got some money, the other cities didn't. This city got money, the other ones didn't. Now they all got a little bit of something and have a really big project that's kind of inspirational going on, that's really going to help beautify some of the stuff down here on this area on the riverfront, that the houses are not as desirable as they once were compared to all the newer homes that are further up the hills on the other side of the hills, that now real estate people come in here, fix them up. Even if you're just not a real estate person, you're a homeowner, it's not perfect time to fix up your house and really capitalize on your equity. I mean, there's a lot of cool things going on. I bet that's great for you guys to see when the cities are improving up areas, so then that way you guys can probably try to gobble them up. And
100%.
Oh yeah.
I tell, the first properties we bought were in Rock Island on 14th and a half Street, which is, if anybody is familiar with this area, is like the worst street in the worst crime-ridden area in the Quad Cities. So me talking to other real estate investors, nobody was interested in dealing with Rock Island at all. They want to go to Bettendorf, Davenport, Moline. So I think that's one of the comparative advantages that Alicio and I have, is that we are willing to go into the trenches, and we are looking to become the solution for the cities that are looking to do community revitalization. Being on the Chamber of Commerce with you taught me so much, Jesse, as far as being able to find out the city's sore spots and their pain points, and figure out ways to partner and help them. Because this is one of the things that I think is overlooked here in the Quad Cities, is the refugee community, the homeless situation that's here, at-risk people, aging citizens, that there are so many markets that are being underserved right now, because most people are looking for home runs in real estate. Where, like I tell Alicio, our philosophy is we're going to just hit base hits forever. Every now and then a home run may come through, and that's all good. But we are more worried about being consistently trying to improve overlooked areas. So I think that's one of the ways that him and I will be able to continue to grow our business.
It's kind of funny too. I mean, and that's the thing about some of those underprivileged areas. When you get a house that's not in that area, Bettendorf, for example, anyone can take a nice house and rent it to somebody. There's almost no fun in that. You got to take the house that nobody wants to buy, buy it, fix it, do nice, and then it's more, what's the word? More enjoyment, more rewarding when you're done. It's just, anyone can take a nice house and throw a renter in. That's easy.
No.
It's more fun doing it the other way.
You guys like a challenge.
Yeah.
Having to chase the people out of there, and squirrels and there, yeah, that's it.
That part's not as fun.
Yeah, that's not part. Not as fun. I tell you, investing, in my personal opinion, is like a duck. Yeah. On the surface, it looks calm. Yeah. Underneath, he's kicking like a son of a gun, and that's us. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Well, and it's excellent. I'm sure that all the cities enjoy seeing you guys that are willing to go in those areas that you said a lot of the other real estate investors necessarily weren't eager to jump into, because let's be honest, any of those bad areas or bad streets in the Quad Cities, it's not the majority of the people that live on the street.
Sure.
You know, it's that select few. So if you can make it beautiful for the people that are there, and hopefully get those people that are the few problem solvers once they're gone, you know, and out of the way, you're going to have a really nice area where people aren't going to be afraid to move in. They're going to get quality homes, walk into the house because they work just as hard as anybody else. And I know I'm not rich, so, you know, I'm working just as hard too, trying to and we all deserve to walk into our home, whether we're renting or buying, and have a beautiful home.
Sure.
And so it's nice that you guys, I know one of the houses you guys had was completely fire ridden. And I mean, I remember walking in there and seeing it, and it was just black smoke on the walls. And you go in there now and the place is amazing. So yeah, guys like you that are willing to go in there and do that and make those areas that people think are less desirable very desirable, and there people are walking in, they're going, this is down here.
Sure.
That's a great thing.
I say it's crazy, that house that you've been into with all the black fire and the smoke and all that, that's probably our nicest house now.
100%.
Our nicest house now, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is satisfying. It's rewarding.
And it's kind of an untapped market because I feel like you guys know what you're looking for, kind of like we said earlier. You know what you want, you know what you're looking for. And then you have your upside then too. You know, it's your own little market that that not a lot of people are doing. So kudos to you guys for sticking to it and, you know, and keeping it going and keep them coming. So that is
thank you, bro.
that's a nice hold that you guys got, you know, and that you guys know what you want. So that's big, and keep them coming and keep them coming. And if, you know, we can help with that too, and send homes or, you know, workers or any way that we can help.
Alicio said, just cut the check.
Just cut the check. And he's like, let it go, huh? Let's go. There you go.
There you go.
Well, we got
Well, you know, I know you're saying you're the gas and he's the brakes and whatnot. And, you know, you want to be moguls or have it set up to where, you know, like you said, you're the third hit, you're on third, and he's the home run guy, the final leg of the sprint, I guess, the fourth leg of the run. And with that being said, though, what do you guys view as success? Because I know we've had personal talks and stuff about that before, but everyone's version of success is just so different. But what's your guys'? Where are you going to feel like, hey, I'm successful? Regardless if you're moguls or not a mogul yet or whatnot, what is your guys' version of success?
Man, to me, I'd have to say version of success. Wow. To me, I'd say when I was working at Deere, I knew 8 to 12 hours a day, I was stuck here. There was nowhere I could go. I mean, I could leave, but I'd get fired, so that wouldn't be cool. So I was stuck there, and I was like, I can't do this every single day. I can't be like, I got to be in this building 8 hours a day every day. Like, I can't do that. To me, success is just doing what you want to do on your terms. If you're able to wake up and, you know, today maybe you got a lot of work to do and you want to get a lot done, so you go work 8 hours, no big deal. But then the next day you wake up and say you have a kid and your son has baseball practice and you don't want to miss his baseball practice today. Well, I got to go to work, I'm stuck. Well, to me, if you're doing your own thing, have your own business, whatever it may be, you don't necessarily have to miss that. You can go to your son's baseball game.
Sure.
I was very grateful that both my parents were able to come to a lot, but I knew there was some my dad wasn't able to come to because he was at work. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to have anything like that in the future. To me, that's success.
Okay, very powerful.
I think I remember hearing a quote from Jim Rome: success is the pursuit of a worthwhile goal. So in my personal opinion, Alicio and I both are already a success. Yeah. Now, the level of success is going to be of our own choosing. But once you have decided something in your mind, believed it in your heart, and spoken it with your mouth, then you are already a success. You've taken the step on success. And success is a path. It's a journey. Mm-hmm. So how far we end up on that path, only God knows. But as we sit here now with you, I mean, this is a family situation, friend situation, and we're doing what it is that we all love. And it's a worthwhile pursuit. So I believe that we're already successful.
Good. Yeah, and we talked about that, I said in the past, and the reason why I ask that is that, you know, a lot of people have this idea of success being what's on Instagram. You know,
sure.
People sitting on a Lamborghini that's in a lot somewhere that ain't theirs, you know, that they're posting it like it's theirs. You know, heck, people even go as far as posting photos of meals and other stuff at these high expensive places that they're not even at or haven't even been to. But, you know, people from the outside don't know that. And that perception is, wow, you know, that person's 19 and living like this and doing that. And here they really haven't left their house, you know. And so there's this false ideology of what success can be for a lot of people, especially young entrepreneurs that get discouraged because they're like, hey, I'm not there yet.
Sure.
So that is one good thing about him, because him being younger, you know, they have this idea of, like I said, what success is. And so for you to be like, no, success is a grind, because you're older, you're from a different generation, to know that, yeah, no, success isn't like that. You know, it doesn't happen that fast. And for the 1 in a million that do, great. But for the most part, no, people are grinding and, like you said, failing and succeeding on bunch of small wins, and then that one big one that finally takes them to where where they really wanted to be is the big plus. But that's the main reason I said, just because I want other people to see that success isn't just this certain thing and the certain image that you see. And you guys both explained success very differently, but none of it had anything to do with the numbers in your bank account per se.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, that was all nice, and that was all part of it to be able to go do some of those things, because to get away from a game, you do have to have money in your account and that, but not being afraid to take those jumps and doing what you guys want to do, that was your success. And that's what's great. And I think that's what's inspirational. And hopefully the younger entrepreneurs that hear that stick with their grind, because the success isn't just driving the brand new car.
For sure. I was told a phrase that sticks with me. Success is like love. And it's not what you can do for somebody else, it's how much you can take. How much are you really willing to sacrifice? And like a mother's love, a mother can sacrifice a whole lot and she's willing to take a whole lot. If you truthfully want to become a success in whatever pursuit that you have in life, we have to measure your ability to tolerate. How much pain, how much suffering, how much disappointment can you tolerate? That's going to figure out whether or not you're supposed to be a success or not. Because most people, and especially I hate to pickle on Aliso, but his generation, they're microwave babies. It's like if they get any bump in the road, they're out of there. So the level of being able to take pain and to take failure and to take those type of things is going to determine your level of success or not.
Powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
Very powerful.
And how about you? I mean, you've had different business ventures. And I mean, how is it going up and down through the success and sometimes the good ones and the bad ones?
You can't give up. That was our motto, man. My dad instilled this in us at a very young age. You just can't give up. Never give up. Even redirection is not failure, or just knowing when you've hit something and you've hit the end of it, that is just as successful as anything. Knowing where, hey, you tried everything, and one thing, when it's time to let go of something is just as important. You're like, hey, you know what? We've tried this numerous times, X amount of times. Maybe it's that's part of the learning. That's part of the learning that, hey, we've done this, or we've stayed in this job too long. I've done it. I've done it. I gotta let it go. Maybe that's my success, is like knowing when it's time to let it go, and recourse, just change the course and try another thing. I think the only failure is when we give up, and I think that's kind of goes across the board with anybody in the different industries. Is like when we give up, when we turn on the towel, and we're just like, hey, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. I think you gotta love that grind. You gotta fall in love with the journey, right? Because it's this destinations, they come and they go, but it's fall in love with the grind, and then the people that you meet along the way is what makes it fun, because you get to know all kinds of people in different stages of their journey, and I think that's where we can pick them up from where they're at and help them. And hey, I got this contact for you that's gonna launch you into the next stage of your life. I think that's where I find a lot of success, is helping a lot of people in different areas. So like you said, everybody's level of success is completely different, but we're all trying to find it. We're all trying to get to make it that next day and find that next happiness, and find the happiness in others, man. Because that's I find happiness when other people are happy. Like I'm happy, man.
Right.
It's contagious. It's contagious, you know. And you want other people to do good, and because it just reflects back on you, and you know that's a great trait to have. So you know, we keep going. We never give up, and the giving up, it can't be an option. So is there any last things that you want to end the viewers that you want them to kind of know? Last couple words of encouragement to send them off with, because it's been a great talk so far, and I'm sure we can keep it going longer. But is there anything that you want to just let them know before we go?
One thing I gotta say is just don't be scared to fail. Just keep failing. It's the best thing you can do.
Amen.
It sounds weird, but it is.
I agree. And I'm thankful. I look at it where always keep yourself in a position where you can be an asset to somebody else. The number one rule that I have in business, and I'm trying to share this with him more so, find whoever it is in your industry that you admire, become friends with them, learn how to add value to their life, and extract information from them.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's really, really good. Well, guys, we had another.
Thank you guys for having us. We were. Thank you. Is definitely
Take
appreciative.
the time out of your guys' busy schedules to.
Don't forget to cut Alicia that check.
We will. Oh yeah, we'll got you. We got bankers, and we got people watching, and we got all kinds of people. These guys, they love checks. They love checks. So they need some more. So guys, thank you guys for watching. We get some more awesome episodes coming for you, Director.
As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions for them or us, please leave the questions below. And yeah, stay tuned. We have more to come, and maybe we'll even hear from you guys again, do a check-in here in the future, and see if that portfolio, where it's grown to, and if you're moguls yet.
Looking forward to it, brother.
Keep an eye out for us, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.